Saturday afternoon elimination bowling matches, a staple of network television for decades. The pressure, the personalities, do or die. Today, live from Dart Bowl in Austin, Texas, the excitement of single game win or go home matches. FloBowling with the Professional Bowlers Association present the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite. Greetings from the capital city. Welcome to Austin. Mike Jakubowski with PBA Tour Champion Stuart Williams. And we've got great matches for you today in the PBA ATX Invite. Stuart, bowlers competed at the recent summer swing, earning points, and the top 8 are here. And top to bottom, it's an interesting field of mixed styles and personalities.
Yeah, I mean, the schedule was pretty packed together. We had 3 somewhat grueling weeks on the road. We played on a lot of different conditions, and yeah, these eight guys have come out on top, and it'll be interesting to see who can win today.
We've got a great opening match. PBA Tour champions and future Hall of Famers Tommy Jones and Sean Rash in a repeat of a recent title match out on the PBA Tour in that very swing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's that much love lost between the pair of them, and obviously Sean will be raring to go to try and get revenge. It's certainly not nice to lose, and it's definitely not nice to lose when the guy you play against throws it in the gutter twice. So I expect Sean to come out firing early on, and I was just talking to the guys then. I think the first guy to shoot a spare is probably going to lose this match.
Talking about the psychology of head-to-head matches. Now, you bowl the opponent and you bowl the lanes. As a competitor, what's the mix?
Well, definitely. I mean, when you're in a head-to-head match, the scores don't really matter. So to me, you're focusing on the other guy. You want to make good shots yourself, but the main thing is to come out on top.
Are there guys out there, Stu, that you just want to win a little bit more against?
Oh, definitely. You know, when you have a guy's number, you know, and most importantly, he knows.
Plenty of great matches coming your way. Our third member of our broadcast team is Phil Brylow, and he is laneside.
And I'm here with Commissioner Tom Clark. And Tom, let me tell you, the fans here in Austin love us being here after 20 years. The PBA is back in Austin.
Oh, it's great to be back here. And obviously we're here because Flow Sports is headquartered here. And we went into a new relationship with Flow Sports to create FloBowling about a year ago now or more. And it's been an incredible first year. And this event is really a culmination of the year where we've had thousands of hours of coverage and great support from FloBowling and in this new relationship. And we really appreciate all the subscribers who came along and FloBowling for their big investment in the PBA. This event, bringing together the top 8 players from the summer tour that was on exclusively on FloBowling, is sponsored completely by Flo, and we really thank them for that.
Well, and the excitement of the format, nothing better than head-to-head match game bracket, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is an exciting day for bowling fans at home. I'm glad anybody that has FloBowling is going to be really excited today because you have great players. You have, the drama of one-game matches to win in advance, and it's all going to play out completely to the end right here over the next, how long do you think it'll take? Maybe 4 hours?
4 hours.
Yeah, from 7 matches. When it gets down to the final, and it's a nice first place prize, $25,000, and the first ever Flow Invite champion, it's going to be really excited. And this crowd, I think, is going to get excited.
Nothing better than being in the pit with the crowd here, I'll tell you what. Thanks, Tom, for your time. And we're going to get to Kirk Von Kruger for our player introductions for this first match.
Welcome to the great state of Texas and its capital, the beautiful city of Austin. This is the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our players in our first match. The number 1 seed is the 2011-2012 PBA Player of the Year. 14 career titles, including 2 majors. From Montgomery, Illinois, please welcome Sean Rash. He'll be facing the 2005-06 PBA Player of the Year and the 2001-02 PBA Rookie of the Year. He has 19 career titles, including 2 majors. From Simpsonville, South Carolina, the number 8 seed, Tommy Jones.
For the just a quick update for the guys at home, for the guys who are interested in the bowling ball situation, I believe that Sean Rash is going to start with the Radical Conspiracy Hybrid, and that Tommy Jones is going to use the Kinetic Amethyst by Track, which is, like we were just saying, a change from what Tommy thought, because he had a different ball in mind when he came over here. So be interesting to see how this choice has gone for Tommy.
Saturday afternoon live elimination matches getting started. Tommy Jones will open up things on the left lane, as is traditional on the PBA Tour. Here we go. PBA ATX Invite is on the lanes. Pocket smash for Jones, 7-10, the last to go a little late.
Yeah, I think it's always nice to get the nerves out of the way and start with a strike. I think that this match is probably going to force Sean a little bit further left than he wants to be. He'll probably still be right of Jones, though.
Here's Sean Rash out of Montgomery, Illinois, 37 years old, top seed of the 8 points earners, opening shot. And a little lazy 10-pin.
See, I think that Sean's actually got a little bit in his mind where Tommy is, because he's a little bit further left than I actually expected him to be. And he got caught up in that oil in the middle of the lane and couldn't get it to get around the corner. So from this, Sean's either going to have to hit it a little bit harder, or he's going to have to move a little bit right. I don't think that on this type of pattern, slowing his speed down is going to get the job done.
Sean Rash, family support. Mom and dad are here, as they often are. And in fact, a lot of the players are catching flights out of here tonight and tomorrow. Big trip coming up. Thailand, Korea, and Costa Rica on the agenda. Nice little world trip. Now Rash with a spare in the first, his first crack at the left lane. 6 gets the 10.
That was a better shot by Sean. It looked like he's a little bit more confident on that left lane. That's maybe why he chose to finish on that lane. When we were in the warm-ups, I told Sean and Tommy that my prediction was the first person to shoot a spare was going to lose the match. So Sean just looked back at me with a little bit of a shrug. I think maybe he's a little nervous if Tommy gets a strike here.
Tommy Jones on the road to recovery. And he said it's all in the legs. Tommy Jones generates that power from the waist down. And he had to shut things down after the Masters and get the physical conditioning back together before returning to form. Pack.
Great shot by Tommy Jones there. He's, like I say, he's gone to the cleaner ball than the one he was looking to use in the practice, and it definitely looks like it's getting through. And he's definitely got a more aggressive finish down lane. I think that's going to be key to getting the ball to go through the pins here. I don't think hitting the pocket's going to be at all challenging to any of these 8 players.
Tommy likes to throw it hard, Stu. How do you keep that power under control? How does Jones do it?
I don't know. I wish he'd tell me. I think the main thing for Tommy is to not get too far forward, and then he gets late. When he's throwing it well, he stays underneath himself, and he gets it in that good position late on like that one.
Pretty splits the 8 and the 9. Jones. Here's another look.
Yeah, it seems like the left lane, the guys are able to, it seems like the ball's a little cleaner on the left lane, so then it hooks a little bit more down the lane, whereas the right lane, the ball's burning up a little bit, so it'll be interesting to see what change Sean makes here.
Sent it a little wider, and still a 10.
Yeah, I think Sean tried to move a little right there and get the ball a little further right to get it into that drier part of the lane, and it didn't really want to cooperate. I think this is maybe what Sean was talking about in his interviews with you about having the lower rev rate, and he's a little bit trapped here. Because of the length of the pattern, it's hard for him to play to the further right and stay straighter. So he's been kind of drawn into playing Tommy's game, and I don't think this is going to work out well for him. I feel like he's probably going to have to, he's got one more chance, I feel like, in this match, or else he's going to be in real trouble. So he needs to focus on throwing a good shot on this left lane and then probably make a change on the right lane.
6 gets a 10 there. Spare strike for Rash.
The ball just holds a little bit more energy on that left lane, so then it'll get through the pins and get the 10 out. So I think that it's probably going to be that time for Sean, especially if Tommy throws another couple of strikes here, but he's probably going to have to change ball on the right lane.
Tommy Jones, one of 5 players to have won both PBA Rookie and Player of the Year honors, joining Mike Albee, EJ Tackett, Chris Barnes, and Jason Belmonte, has the front 3 here in our opening match of the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite. 10 pin.
Oh, there we go. That's definitely made the match a little bit more interesting. For the neutral in me, I'm happy to see a I'm happy to see a corner pin stand up here and keep this game close. I think that this right lane is probably going to cause the guy troubles. I think the high seeds are going to be definitely wanting to finish the matches first and force the lower seeds to have the ball on this right lane. It seems like the ball hooks a little sooner and then is like lazy down the lane. So I think Tommy's well equipped with the ball he's using to conquer that. He's just got to make sure he throws. I just think you have to throw better shots on the right lane than the left lane.
Tommy Jones up 19 pins. Opening match coming up next. It's Jason Sterner versus AJ Johnson. Tommy told me earlier today he's gone to 15 pounds and made that move within the last year.
Yeah, he part of it was to do with the way the Ebonite balls are in 15 and 16, and part of it was to do with just, I think, his physical state, so to speak. He wanted to have something that was less painful on the body.
Ooh, high. Avoids a split.
I feel like Tommy then, the shot on the right lane influenced the shot on the left lane. So he actually almost made his move for the right lane on the left lane. And
Tommy Jones, winner at the 2019 Bowl Store Classic in Coldwater, Ohio against Rash, picked up his 19th career PBA Tour title. Cross lane on the 10 pin, rolls it around the deck. Always try to pay attention to what that 10 pin does on the deck. It looks like they bounce out of the pit here, Stu, so that might come into play later if we find a little 7-10 later on.
yeah, it could be some exciting stuff. If Tommy had got the 2 strikes there, I might have been talking about that mystical 300 game there. He looked like he was really ready to go, but the lane changed a little bit. Sean's staying with the same ball. Be interesting to see the move he makes. I think he's got to square up a little bit rather than open up a little bit. Whoa, that was a late pullout.
Yeah, we classified the Rash balks into 3 different categories. One we would call the feel balk if he didn't like something in his hand. 2 would be the distraction balk if someone happened to move down lane or something happened that he didn't like. And then 3 sometimes is just his pre-shot routine gets mucked about and he's got to start fresh.
Yeah, Sean balks enough that it doesn't usually affect him.
Usually throws a really pure shot after, kind of like that.
He kept that one. He kept that one further left. It looked like he actually moved left and kept it more in the oil then. Great shot for sure. Knew it off the hand.
And that's a double, and he cuts the lead to just 8 pins, and now Rash can take the lead with a strike here in the 6th frame. Rash is riding high, a lot of confidence. He says it's just nice to go out and compete and think I'm a threat. Whereas last year, after being injured, I was just taken for granted. Rash does not like to be taken for granted. 6th frame. Hacks the pocket, and a lead change in Austin.
Great shot by Sean. That lane is so much more comfortable for him. He doesn't have to trick it or anything. He just can get up and let it rip, potato chip.
So Rash goes bang, bang to take the lead.
Just like that, the match flipped on its head in 4 shots.
And that's the fun and the thrill of single game elimination. And now the back half of our opening match. You got to pick your poison and go. Here's Rash with a lead now against Tommy Jones.
Better.
6 around the 10 roller. No.
So Tommy actually had the exact opposite happen to him on that shot than the previous shot. I thought that was a much better shot, and he got a little bit behind it and had the ring 10. So, like I say, it's amazing, like we were talking about, the psychology of these matches and how it's changed. But at the same time, if Tommy gets up in the 7th frame and strikes and Sean misses one of his next 2, it's back in Tommy's hands. So I think we're going to see a lot of back and forth matches here with the nature of the guys being able to control the pocket so easily.
Tommy Jones, a mainstay of international competition announced his retirement from Team USA earlier this year, along with Chris Barnes, and a changing of the guard, Stu, as far as the Americans on the international scene.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've bowled together for a long time, and it's nice to see some of the younger guys being able to have an opportunity. AJ Johnson, Marshall Kent, EJ Tackett, Andrew Anderson. I mean, there are so many great American players at the minute, so it's nice to see a few of the other guys be able to get a go.
Here's Jones now trailing 7th frame.
There we go. So, state of the match, Tommy Jones can strike out for 257. Sean's on 270. These next 2 shots could be quite crucial to set the match up for the last few frames, for sure.
Rash on a 3-bagger, 7th frame. Former PBA Player of the Year, toes the line. Mixing, no, 10-pin.
See, Sean got that one further right down the lane then, and the ball just lost so much energy. It's amazing how much difference the lanes are, considering like Sean Parry has done the lanes the same. Obviously, it's the same lane condition. It's just that the right lane, it just burns up and loses so much energy down the lane. And it still results in the ball finishing up in almost the same place, but it's so obvious to see how much less energy the ball has when it hits the pins.
2-pin match. Sean Rash leads Tommy Jones by 2. Final 3 frames of our opening match. Sterner and AJ Johnson will get the pair next. Rash also finishing 2nd in the PBA Wilmington Open and the PBA Bowl Store Classic. A couple 2nd place finishes, and closed out the summer season with a 4th place finish at the PBA Illinois Open. 8th frame. Oh, ugly but effective.
There we go. Sean definitely got up the back of that one. Didn't worry about it with it being the left lane. He now knows his right lane is basically, that's going to determine this whole match. Whichever one of them figures it out better. The only advantage for Sean is he only has to figure it out one time. But when we talk about the match play situation, right now, if I'm in Tommy Jones's position, I feel like I'm leading. Like, we can say I'm 2 pins down, but I feel like I'm leading because I've got the match in my own hand. So Tommy just needs to get up here, make the correct adjustment, and throw a double.
The phrase often used out here, ball in hand. Jones' hand, 8th frame on a strike, can take the lead with a double. High, 3-6-10.
Oh, that wasn't Tommy. Tommy's going to want that one back. Tommy tried to keep it a little bit more in, and he just decelerated it on the way down, and he never really got that ball up the lane. And that's what happens when we're playing in these matches. Once you start to leave that 10-pin, it starts to play with your mind, and then you just don't make as good a shot because you're trying to manipulate it that little bit to get it to come around the corner.
Setting up cross lane at the 3-6-10. Fit that ball between the 3 and the 6. Just like that. Interesting, Stu, to note that on Jones' way to his 19th title, it was a strange thing that happened for him to get there. He actually found the channel a couple of times during that match.
Yeah, and both times it was on multiple strikes. So it was the biggest penalty. I think if I remember the match right, he had 5 in a row, and then he threw in the gutter. He spared it. He had a double, basically had the match in hand again, and then he threw in the gutter, and he didn't spare it. And then it was all hell broke loose for the last couple of frames. So
215, 179, the final on that one. And there was another interesting story out on the regional tour this year of both players throwing channel balls in the 10th frame to have a back and forth player.
Nick Pate.
Amazing.
Yeah,
that it could still happen.
Amazingly, both those instances were on the Dell Ballard pattern.
Foundation frame, 10-pin.
I think that might be the nail in the coffin there for Tommy. He can only shoot 226 now. Sean just needs a double to basically wrap this match up. And with the look that Sean has on the left lane, I think I don't think he's going to be taking too many chances on this right lane.
Jones covers.
Shows how quickly these games change. If somebody had told me that I'd have only needed 237 to shut Tommy Jones out, sorry, 227 to shut Tommy Jones out, getting up in the 9th frame, I'd have told you were crazy after the way you started.
And here's Rash no bones about it. He's an emotional guy. He's an emotional player, and he really wears it on his sleeve. And just his deep, deep respect for the game and the way he goes about his business is quite evident. Light mixer slides out the 4-5-7.
That was an interesting hit for sure. That was a, talking about respect of the game, that was a throwback hit to the Dick Weber days there. 4-5-7, the last 3 to 4.
Appropriate on the Dick Weber 45 pattern.
So yeah, I think Sean might show a little bit of emotion here if he closes this one out.
Well, just so important to note that he had that tough start, was injured in 2018, and he was desperate to find a way to come back. And we're going to get
bulky.
Looked like a little distraction there.
So Sean actually needs 9 spend 9 to shut the match out. So,
but it's a good moment. I mean, if it doesn't feel right, don't go, right?
Yep. If in doubt, pull out, as the famous guy once said.
Mr. Stone. Look forward to the Fox season kicking in again come the 2020 season. Randy Peterson, Hall of Famer, with Rob Stone and Kimberly Pressler on the Fox coverage. Until then, we have FloBowling and a 10-pin.
Well, Sean's had some troubles with the 10-pin this season. I've seen him shooting a lot of them, so I feel pretty confident. He's just got to take his time. Oh, he's getting up pretty fast, so. Well, let's see. Come on, Sean, close this one out. There we go. No messing around.
Left side,
Okay.
covered it up.
So another one of those, another 10-pin, and he'll be moving on. I like how close the two players are with the table. I like that.
Intimate.
Yeah. Nowhere to go and hide in your corner.
That's just a component of the head-to-head match play, mano a mano.
Looks pretty good.
The best way. All 10, 228, Rash a winner. He'll move on and he'll face the winner. Rash will get the winner of Jason Sterner and A.J. Johnson coming up next. And Tommy Jones finishing out, but great to see Jones return to form.
Yeah. Tommy is one of the more iconic players of the last 15 or 20 years, and it's definitely nice to see him back on form. I don't think he's going to necessarily remember the back half of this game fondly, but you know, that's the nature of these one-game matches. I mean, he's going to lose by 2 pins probably.
But his appearance here indicative of the nice finish that he had. He finished in the top 20 in 6 of 9 Summer Tour events, with the second best finish coming at the PBA Wilmington Open. So Jones returning to form here on the Summer Series and the Summer Tour, and always great to see a future PBA Hall of Famer in action. 228, 216 a winner. Rash moves on.
Congratulations to Sean Rash, who will move on to our semifinal match coming up a bit later in the show.
Wow, there it is, the Sean Rash balk followed by the winning shot.
Good practice. If it doesn't feel right, reset and reload. Rash usually participates well in those circumstances, and he did so there to close out Jones. And a look at the great style and power of Tommy Jones. We're live at Dart Bowl in Austin, Texas, and the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite rolls on live on FloBowling.
We're here with the winner, Sean Rash. And Sean, little interesting on the carry of that game. First 4 frames, you were going Dutch, and then I saw you having a little conversation with Jason Sterner. What helpful words did Jason give you there?
Well, it's what teammates do, right? If you need some help, you ask for it. And I was really thinking about taking a chance with throwing the melee jab on the right lane to have a little bit more down lane ball motion, something that I don't want to do. I like to use front to back. And he said, hey, just commit to it if you do it. But when Tommy moved, it was time he missed in the 4th and 5th, I was like, wow, let's give it one more try. I'm hitting the pocket. It's not going to be a shootout because I could see that the right lane's carry was tough. Geared down just a tad, and the ball went through the pins beautifully in the 5th frame and 7th.
So what are you going to do now? I noticed in practice for this match, you're going back and forth between 2 balls. You're going to get practice when you go on against the winner of the Sterner and Johnson match. What is it going to be, a ball change possibly?
Possibly. I mean, I've got so much confidence in the Weber zone solid that I'm throwing, the conspiracy hybrid, and then the melee jab. I have multiple balls that I could throw. It's going to be interesting to see who I bowl. You know, if it's Jason Sterner, we'll be a little farther right. Both of us like to keep our angles in front of us. If it's AJ Johnson, he's a lot like Tommy. He wants to be farther left than most people. I might actually stay farther right as well, just to stay away from his traffic. But again, I can get inside and hook the lane like I have over the last couple months, which has been nice to be able to have 100% healthiness and make great shots.
Oh, you get a little bit of a break. You have to come back. You're going to take on the winner of the AJ Johnson, Jason Sterner match, and we're going to be back with that match after a short break here from the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite Dart Bowl in Austin, Texas, the site of this great event.
In our second match of the afternoon, he's from Rochester, New York, 3 PBA Tour titles. Give it up for Jason Sterner. He'll be facing the number 5 seed. He's a 5-time member and current member of Team USA. From Oswego, Illinois, A.J. Johnson. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Jason Sterner and A.J. Johnson.
And the Golden Pipes of the PBA Tour's National Tournament Director Kurt Von Kruger gets things going. A.J. Johnson, 27, out of Oswego, Illinois. He'll begin on the left lane. Second of our 4 opening matches. Sean Rash has already advanced to the semifinals. Here's the opening shot from A.J. Johnson. Boom.
Good shot by AJ. He looks like he's using the Ebonite Futura, and it looks like Jason Sterner is going to be using, I think, the Brunswick Hero. Yeah, the original Hero. So that's another update for you guys. I've been doing my own in-the-bag section, having a little look around at the players and what they've been using.
Stuart Williams in the bag. That's got a ring to it. Here's Jason Sterner, now out of Rochester, New York. He's 35, 3 career PBA Tour titles. And he packs it as well. Pack open. Sterner and Johnson both in the pocket.
Yeah, Sterner's definitely playing the straightest of anybody we've seen yet. That's why Jason feels is most comfortable when he's got a little bit of like arc, but it's kind of in front of him. It's hard to kind of explain. I guess I'm doing a pretty poor job of it, but he likes to keep the ball in front of him, but he likes to play a little bit of shape. So he's not hooking it anywhere near as much as Johnson or Jones, but he still likes to throw the ball away a little bit.
Opening strikes for each player. First shot at the left lane for Sterner. High flush. Knock him back.
Sterner's got that look in his eye that he had when he was in Illinois. He looks very confident. He looks very, his body language is very like, this is my lane. He's taking control. It looks good.
AJ, the only player in the summer series without a win, but his consistency over those events earned him a trip here on the right lane. Strike working. 6 slaps the 10 on neatly.
Good response by AJ. He tried to do what Sean was doing, keeping it a little more inside on that left lane.
Here's a look at stats for A.J. Johnson. He bowled in every summer tour event, finishing in the top 12 in 7 of 9 events.
Yeah, incredible consistency.
Johnson still looking for his first PBA Tour win. This is a non-title event, a special PBA ATX Invite for points earners from the PBA Summer Swing. But a nice payday at the end of the day awaits the winner. And 6
Good
smalls
start.
at 10. The intensity of A.J. Johnson.
AJ is definitely very intense.
Interesting thing to note about Jason Sterner, Stu, is a grip change. And I'll tell you what he did, and you explain it to me. He did a quarter reverse to, he went from a quarter reverse to quarter forward in his thumb pitch. He did from 1/16 to 1/4 away in his fingers, and he shortened his grip span by 1/8. Strike there. What did he do?
Basically, he released his grip pressure. So by going forward in the thumb is more into the ball, so to speak. So the ball kind of holds on his thumb longer. So he's able to relax, have less grip pressure because he doesn't have to hold on to the ball as much because it's easier to hold on to.
So it was the grip change. Sterner was just dissatisfied with his performance after the Masters. He consulted with Doug Kent, and they came up with a new game plan. Each player on the front three.
4.
Handball!
There we go. We're off to an exciting start here. Neither of these guys seem to be worried about it. They both look pretty confident in what they're doing.
One of those.
But it was right around this time that the lanes made a little transition last time, so we'll see. These two both look like they have a reaction to die for at the moment, though.
'17 PBA Midwest Region Player of the Year, looking to break through on the national scene with a win at some point. You figure when he gets one, he's going to get a heck of a lot more. 4th frame. Dueling ham-bones.
This is more what we expected out of the first match, I think. Both players are pretty lined up. They've created a lot of room down lane at the break point. AJ got that one much further right, and he actually didn't see any of the issues that Sean and Tommy were seeing on that right lane then. So this bodes well for this being a shootout, to say the least.
Speaking of A.J. Johnson winning on the PBA Tour, he came oh so close in winning his first PBA title in Houston at the Striking Against Breast Cancer mixed doubles. On the cusp of victory, he and Aaron McCarthy both opened in their 10th frame and let the win slip out of their hands.
Yeah, to Kyle Sherman.
And the strikes keep coming.
You can tell how confident both these guys are because this game is taking a lot less time than the last one. Sterner's just going to take a re-rack.
Change. Johnson by 10. Sterner bowling 5th frame.
I think when they picked this pattern, this is what they were looking for. We were looking for 260 to 270 type matches, not 220 to 210. So exciting start, that's for sure.
Jason Sterner was able to qualify for this ATX Invite thanks to his win, as you mentioned, at the PBA Illinois Open. The only event of the summer that offered double points, and those double points are what got him this spot. Trying to even things up. Johnson on 5, Sterner on 4. Beer frame. 6 around the 10.
He actually took the re-rack, and I actually think that rack was worse than the one he swept away. That's what you've always got to be careful of with the re-rack. Run the spare down and then get back on track.
At the Illinois Open, here live on FloBowling, Sterner ran that stepladder, beating Anthony Simonsen, Sean Rash, Jason Belmonte, and then E.J. Tackett for the title. Back half of this round of 8 matchup, 6th frame. Oh, flush him.
Another great shot by Sterner there. Now he's kind of sitting on his seat, hoping for a chance for the next time he gets up. It doesn't look so far like AJ's been willing to dole out many chances though.
There have been no chances doled to this point. Johnson back on the right lane, front 5. Johnson's average finish in the summer events is 12th, starting back at the Lubbock Sports Shootout.
There we go, good shot. Crowd's starting to get a little bit more into this match. They're liking the strike shootout situation.
Crack open a 6-pack of Shinerbach. A.J. Johnson, 7th at Lubbock Sports Shootout. Runner-up at the mixed doubles. 11th at Chesapeake. 12th at Wilmington. 8th at Gene Carter's Pro Shop Classic in Middletown. And his worst finish was the Wolf Open at 34th. Very consistent play earned him this spot. 7th frame. He's got them all. Front 7.
AJ's looking pretty confident. More than halfway there, Mike. I think the thing he'll be concentrating on the most is getting 3 more strikes and shutting this match out.
Sterner still got 279 left.
Yeah,
Here
you've got to feel like he has to throw 2 strikes here to put some pressure on AJ.
Down to one knee. Heck.
Great shot. No matter what, if Jason gets this strike, he's still going to be in it no matter what when he gets up in the 9th frame. So that's what he's going to focus on right now. Okay. So if Jason Sterner can manage to keep this game tight, maybe that $1,000 bonus will start to weigh on AJ's mind from FloBowling. Oh, Sterner didn't like that one, but he managed to get the strike. Yeah, the crowd is letting him hear it.
Keep it weird, Austin.
That put a smile on Sterner's face for sure. Maybe it didn't put a smile on Adam's face here.
$1,000 bonus on a perfect game. Johnson's got the front 7 back over on the right lane. And the reaction of Sterner and the giddy up. The Texas 2-step here.
Shot.
Oh, gracious. Stone, 8 in the 8th.
Wow, that was a really good shot. I'm dead behind that. Off his hand, like I say, I thought that was a great shot. It just slowed down a little bit too much and just cut through the... that ball went through the one through like a hot knife through butter.
And save the cards and letters. I know it's a stone 9. I got excited. My bad, as we say. 9-pin cover for Johnson.
Now we've got a completely different psychology here. AJ's going to take his time a little bit, regroup. He's going to brush his shoe, maybe take a drink. This is actually the time where I'd almost encourage him to just take a re-rack. Just slow it down a little bit. But
well, now, as Bo Burton used to say, we do have the possibility of a tie.
We do.
Both players 279 max now, foundation frame. Johnson after the front 7 and the absolute rip stone 9er up in the 9th. High and a 6-10. Wow, is the reaction.
Like I say, I just think that when you've been on such a roll like that and it comes to an end sometimes just taking that little bit extra beat, you know, just restart everything is helpful. But AJ makes this. It's still very much game on.
Johnson covers the 6-10.
Johnson now leads by 8 pins. Sterner bowling.
And now Sterner can finish and shut out Johnson.
And like I say, Jason takes another re-rack on this right lane. He's definitely been finishing these matches off recently, like in Illinois. So let's see what Jason's got here if we can continue his momentum. Great shot.
That is a lead change. It's Sterner by 2. 10th frame.
Oh, he gets the break there. That definitely wasn't his best shot of the game, that's for sure. He got that one a little right, and it didn't. I don't think he caught as well as he wanted to. It missed the break point a little bit, but he managed to splash it off the wall. Now he just needs 9 spare to shut AJ out. Man, that really sucks for AJ. Like, but it doesn't suck for Jason Sterner fans, that's for sure.
It's not how, it's how many.
Oh boy. Oh, wow. Well, that could have been a lot of things as well as being 9. Yeah, a bit of a nerfy finish here by Sterner, but he runs the spare out. He's going to shut him out, 68-67. Oh, he missed it.
Oh, my.
Wow.
267. Johnson can strike out for a tie.
Wow, that was...
Oh, brother.
I just think that he couldn't believe that he got so fortunate to get 9. He rushed the spare, and then he just flagged it. All right, come on, AJ. It's not time for sympathy now.
New life for AJ Johnson, 10th frame.
Looks close. Oh, wow.
That's in the nose, and Sterner advances. He'll get Rash in one semifinal.
Wow, that lane. That lane's really started to transition for AJ late on. I didn't really see the shot on the left lane, but the one on the right lane, then I didn't think that was a bad shot. And it was up and out of there. So anyway, Mike, our first real shootout, 267 to 254.
Type of fireworks we were expecting, and the greatest bowlers in the world don't disappoint. Johnson finishes 254, but it's Jason Sterner who moves on at the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite. He'll get Sean Rash in one semifinal. Coming up next.
Here with Jason Sterner, and Jason, what the hell? That 10th frame. It was all the range of emotions there.
Yeah, I got a little ahead of myself there. I got a really good break. The first shot was a little in, got the mixer hit, and just didn't slow down, calm my nerves, and then I think that's the force miss spare, but also the bad shot in the 10th. But you know, it's bowling. I kept myself in it. I put myself in position, and then you know, forced the other player to show up, and that's all you can do.
Yeah, and you had it looked like you were playing the lanes a little bit different between the left lane and the right lane. Just our imagination, or?
No, I feel like there were probably 2 boards difference in my mind visually, and kind of with my gears, I was trying to roll it a little bit more over here. On the left lane, I felt like I had more hook to the right, so I could just get it there. The right lane, I feel like I had to kind of gear down and get it higher up in the pocket. So.
Another ball in the bag maybe you might go to. I mean, you got to bowl your good friend and teammate Sean Rash from Brunswick, and he's already got his strategy against you. He was talking about you kind of have one against him?
Well, I definitely have 2 other options, stronger or weaker than the hero I just threw. So, you know, we'll see how Sean decides to play the lanes, and then I feel that way I can determine from that point what I'm going to do as far as what ball I'm going to use. But other than that, I'm going to stick to the pitcher I see and keep trying to make good shots.
Good luck the rest of the way out.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
2 matches down here in our quarterfinal round. 2 matches to go here from the FloBowling ATX Invite.
It's time for match number 3. He was the 2012-13 PBA Rookie of the Year, the 2016 PBA Player of the Year. He has 13 PBA titles, including 2 majors. From Bluffton, Indiana, the number 2 seed, E.J. Tackett. He'll be facing the number 7 seed. He won his first career title earlier this summer when he won the Striking Against Cancer Mixed Doubles Championship. From O'Fallon, Missouri, Kyle Sherman.
Welcome back to Dart Bowl in Austin, Texas. A big thanks to General Manager Shannon Powell for use of this nice facility and a great crowd here assembled to watch 8 of the greatest bowlers in the world. Also a shout out to John Donovan, our proprietor here. Here's Kirk Von Kruger.
He said Kyle Sherman's going to start the match. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause to get us started. Thank you. Good luck, bowlers.
Here we go, Kyle Sherman and E.J. Tackett. Mike Jakubowski with Stuart Williams live at Dart Bowl. Kyle Sherman, 25, out of O'Fallon, Missouri. He of the Brad and Kyle YouTube sensational page. And Stu, one of the youth movement, starting to take hold here on the PBA Tour.
Yeah, Kyle's had an exceptionally good season. He's famous for his vlog, and now he's trying to show us he should be famous for being a great bowler. He's starting off with the Paradox Black, and it looks like EJ's starting off with the Jackal Ghost. But I think that the talk of this match, certainly around the water cooler, has been how EJ's going to try and overcome this sprained ankle that he's got. It's really affecting him if you watch here. But he's off to a good start. I think EJ's problem is going to be is shooting a spare if he leaves one. He's been saying that he's really struggling shooting the 10-pin with the way he sprained his right ankle.
So EJ dealing with a bum wheel, and that's where everything starts.
Yes, I can actually speak with quite a lot of experience of this. I've been suffering a really bad ankle injury myself, and to the right ankle, for me, I was talking to EJ about it, we both agreed, we'd much prefer to have a bad left ankle, because you can just tape it up, take some painkillers, and just deal with it. The problem when your right ankle is bad is it's what you push off on it. You create a lot of your power from that. So sometimes it's okay, and sometimes it's not. And then there's a huge difference between one shot and the next. And actually, EJ might be a small advantage in that how bad it is. He knows it's going to be bad every time. So he's actually adopted. He's not even sliding into the line on his left foot now. He's, yeah.
Not enough things to worry about, endless adjustments on the PBA Tour.
Well, I think this has taken a lot of the pressure off EJ in this match, though, because now he's, if he wins, great. But if he loses, he was supposed to lose anyway. And conversely, Kyle should be coming into this game as a huge underdog, really, with the experience that the two guys have. And actually now, Kyle's a pretty strong favorite, and the pressure in this match is completely flipped by this ankle injury. And then EJ, maybe he's been playing a little rope-a-dope here, but he didn't look like he was going to strike very much in the practice, and now he's come out with a double straight away.
That's a good space to be in. Sherman lining up cross lane to get the 10, and good conversion. Sherman, part of his breakthrough season was winning at the mixed doubles event, and Sherman himself is battling back from major hip surgery last year. And on this summer tour alone, Sherman has got 6 top 20 finishes among the 8 events in which he's competed. So consistency for Kyle Sherman.
When Kyle and Amanda won that doubles tournament, that was one of the most remarkable turnarounds I think I've ever seen. They were in 3rd place. They lost their match in the position round and went round both 2nd and 1st to win the title. That is mind-blowing. That's almost impossible for that to happen.
That is hard to come by. 3rd frame. Light, Elby. 2, 4, 8, 10.
Kyle looked like he missed that one off his hand at the bottom there. He got it a little steep and a little fast, but he didn't catch it, so then it just had no chance to come back. This could be a good one for Kyle to spare to really turn the crowd around from here. Not like that, I don't think.
Gave it a whirl, came up empty, open frame.
In all fairness, that wasn't really at all close. I was expecting it to be. It looked like he was torn between trying another strike line or what that was going to be. So the crowd's starting to bring some noise for EJ here.
10.
Okay. Now the sport begins. This could be a little awkward for EJ. For all the people at home who've watched EJ over the last few years, this is going to be different, I'm pretty sure. see how he overcomes it, because I know he was saying to us that he had a lot of problems with sparring. Well, took care of business there on his, to quote you, bum wheel.
Turned it over nicely. Tackett, it's so much fun to talk to EJ. He's just pure talent. You know, other folks have a very prescribed nature of success, and others have a very solid plan. And EJ says, you know, and he means it. I just go to bowl. I don't think about this, that, and the other thing. I generate power. I can't tell you how I do it. I just do it. And he's just pure talent.
I think that EJ plays that up a bit more than he necessarily needs to. EJ's a lot smarter than he wants anybody to think he is. And he can play that, you know, for one of a dumb hick from the country. But I think the rest of us kind of know that that's all a little bit of an act. He knows what he's doing. He knows the reason why these things happen and what, you know, when it's going wrong, what he needs to do to change it. It's not just a, well, you know, I just turn up and sometimes I go fishing and I catch a fish. Yeah, that's EJ plays that act pretty good, but that's not really the way it is. He doesn't give himself enough credit.
After the open frame, Sherman work in the fourth.
So Kyle's gone with a ball change. I only saw him throw one ball and he said, this is my ball. So I think he changed to a web, a hammer web. So this is on the fly in the bag because, you know, Sherman was pretty sure he was throwing the Paradox Black.
Sherman down 24 pins, can cut it to 14 with a double. The key for Kyle Sherman is the feet and getting him moving and driving to set up his tempo.
Gotta go.
Oh, yeah! Oh. Double tap on the 10. Double cuts the lead.
That was huge for Kyle. That was huge. To be able to loosen up a little bit, throw not what your best shot was. See, that's why sometimes it's better to suck throwing a different ball. Because the other ball wasn't coming back from there.
I remember a classic story of you and Del Ballard choosing between 3 bowling balls. Tack it back up, and shaker hit leaves a 4-pin. And that was where you and Del were struggling. You had 3 balls. He chose one. You chose one. And then you actually bowled with the third that neither of you chose, and you shot 279. And then I believe you repeated the process.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, Del, me and Del were sick of both being wrong, so we took 3 and we ruled ourselves out, and then we were good to go.
Spare.
EJ with the, what we would politely term the leak bowler spare.
Gave it a wide path.
Hook it the whole lane. When the pattern is like this, though, that's actually a pretty good play because there's a lot of room to hit to make those spares.
Tackett, 13 career PBA Tour titles. He won the Barbasol PBA Tour Finals in Vegas. Sends it wide, brings it home.
It's so strange to watch EJ's feet move so slowly because for being like a pretty short guy, I was so used to EJ's feet moving really quickly. Now he's like almost lumbering up there to throw it, and it's so strange to watch.
It looks like Brian Kretzer playing the slow wheel.
Yeah, right now he's throwing it all with his arm. There's no lower body whatsoever. It even looks like it's challenging him to walk off the approach at the minute.
So now Sherman on the double.
That's left.
Oh, avoids the maximum penalty, but he needed the strike. With a spare, he'll trail by 15.
That wasn't Kyle's best effort then. He missed a little left, and he just, like, this match feels like it's going at 100 miles an hour for Kyle right now. You know, he had the ball change, he got out of the plan of what he wanted to do, and the crowd's getting a little louder for the first time, really. And just think Kyle needs to, like, you know, he talks about quieting down, blocking out the noise a little bit. I think he just needs to focus in for these last 4 frames here and just try and throw like 6 of the best shots he's got and try and, you know, not put the pressure on EJ, because I don't think EJ's going to feel that much pressure doing what he's doing, just because
he can only
he's on house money. Anything he makes from better than losing this first game is like gravy for EJ.
Not a title event. The FloBowling PBA ATX Invite was based on points earned at the PBA Summer Swing and an opportunity to showcase the greatest bowlers in the world here on FloBowling. We're glad you're with us. 7th frame. Sherman trails by 15, and he's on a spare. And that high flushes 10 into the deck. EJ Tackett is engaged to Natalie Goodman, who spent some time on the FloBowling tour this year, assisting the staff at the PBA 50 events and around the world of pro bowling. Now EJ, with a strike up, can extend his lead, 7th frame.
Great shot by EJ. Maybe the blood's starting to circulate a little bit more around that ankle, and he's starting to loosen up a little bit.
Combination of adrenaline
I think
and
the big
gameplay.
Thing, if EJ does get through this game, then the big thing for him would be making sure that he's able to keep moving.
Yeah.
Like, if he stops moving, it's going to get way worse. So he's going to have to keep going the whole time.
The cool down and the re-warm-up will be tough.
Oh, boy.
That's high.
Oh.
4-7.
Well, it could have been a lot worse.
With a spare, he's up 23.
He's kept ball in hand for when he gets up in the 9th frame, regardless of what Kyle does.
Sends it right and back left, picks up the spare, plus 23. In addition to Kyle Sherman's win at the mixed doubles, he also made the finals at the PBA Bear Open, finishing 3rd there, and just missed the show in Wilmington, where he finished 5th. Earning enough points for an appearance here at the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite. Trailing by 23, frames running out. Sherman must strike here in the 8th.
Great shot. Kyle's collected himself a little bit. The last shot, really good on the left lane, came up, made the necessary adjustment, opened his angle up, threw another really good shot there. If he can get up here, throw a good shot in the 9th frame, I think he's going to have an opportunity to win this match in the 10th frame. With the pain that EJ's in and with the ankle, I just can't envision him getting a 3-bagger and 8 to shut him out. I can't see it. So, but he needs this one. He has to have this one. He has to have the opportunity to get into the 230s.
Trails by 13, can cut it to 3, foundation frame. And it's in the nose, 3-6.
Well, that wasn't a shot that Kyle's going to want to think about for much longer. But you got to run the spare down. Hopefully, you get some help from EJ in these last couple of frames, and you get an opportunity in the 10th frame. But I just think I think EJ's ankles really mess with Kyle, and it's put him under a lot of pressure. Like thinking that he should win the game rather than just like if he was playing EJ most times, he'd feel like the whole world thought he shouldn't win. And now it's flipped around with EJ having the bad ankle, and it really looks like Kyle's put himself under way more pressure than he needed to. And it's easy to say here in the commentary booth, trust me. But there we go.
That one's wide, 2-8-10.
There we go. It's really important. It's really, really important here for EJ to make sure he gets he gets 2 of these. That's what I was talking about. It's very hard, where EJ didn't think that was a bad shot. Like, probably 3 times ever have I seen EJ run one out thinking he had a chance. Not run one out, but step it out thinking it had a chance, and he 2-8-10s. But, well, now we got a game.
The lead is just 1 for Tackett. He can still strike out here and advance and shut out.
Doesn't feel like a strikeout situation.
It sure
though.
doesn't. if you're Kyle Sherman, you're thinking, I'm going to have a shot to win this match. But
I think the main issue, I think right now, if you gave EJ 203, he'd probably take it.
10th frame.
And
There's
there's one.
the bucket.
I love it. So much of a competitor EJ is. Even limping around, he looks pissed off that he just 2-8-10.
One of my great loves of professional bowling is the body language.
I mean, he
Sometimes,
literally could be playing in a Dexter pair of walk-arounds. Like, he's using the 9 product, but it doesn't matter because he's not even sliding.
and
There you
it's
go.
light, and he gets it. Just like A.J. Johnson took advantage of a break over there.
Jason Sterner took
Ah,
advantage
yes,
of the break.
thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
My man here, EJ, it's going to be the ultimate kick in the teeth to Sherman. Oh, you've got a chance. No, you don't.
Dangle and the cat toy is taken
It's
away.
like smell the cheese, bang. Punch him straight in the mouth.
Strike to advance for E.J. Tackett. And the 10-pin wiggles and will not fall to 12. We have the possibility of a tie.
EJ Tackett bowls 212. Kyle Sherman must throw 3 strikes to tie the game.
So we've got it, Mike. We've got a 10-frame shootout. He needs 3 for the roll-off.
Struck last time on the right lane. And now all 3 to force a roll-off.
The crowd doesn't really know what to do here. There we go. Good shot. 2 more of those required.
Motivation and back against the wall.
I was about to say, I think the roll-off is the worst thing that could possibly have happened to EJ. Now he has to throw another shot, and with the chance of getting no money for it. I think he'd rather lose than have to lose in a roll-off. Have to bowl that extra shot. I know a lot of people who wouldn't really like to go up bowling right now with that 10-pin stud on the left lane.
No, I'd re-rack it. Yeah, I
It's
want a
kind
fresh
of weird.
deck over there.
It's almost whether you think it's going to cut the right, come down, or whatever. It's a little left.
Hacked it.
Held nicely for him. Sherman with another life.
Must strike for a roll-off, or E.J. Tackett advances. Coming up next in our final round of 8 match, it's Anthony Simonsen getting ready to face Bill O'Neill. But first, Sherman with a chance to tie.
This is exciting, Mike.
I love
J.
it. Saturday afternoon, elimination bowling. We're glad you're with us. Mike Jakubowski, Stu Williams, and Phil Bryler are live at Dart Bowl, and Kyle Sherman must get 10 pins to force a roll-off.
Strike or go home. Looks good.
He got it. We got a tie. Boiling point, 212.
Great finish, Kyle Sherman. Great finish.
Let's go down to Kurt Von Kruger for the skinny.
All right, bowling fans, this has got to be broken by a 1-ball sudden death roll-off. EJ Tackett's the higher seed. He'll have choice of starting lane and order. Each player will bowl 1 shot on the same lane. If they remain tied, they'll move to the other lane in the same order and do it again. And they'll continue to alternate back and forth on lanes in that order until the tie is broken. EJ, who's starting? EJ has elected to start on the left lane. Let's hear it for this. Good luck, bowlers.
Tackett wants to go first, get it out of the way. What's your philosophy on these starting orders in roll-offs?
Always go first unless the lane's absolutely impossible. If the lane's really like impossible, then I like to let the other guy slit his own throat, so to speak. Shot.
Oh. 9 count, 6 around the 10.
Man, he got that one pretty close then. That felt like a much better shot than the one in the 12th frame. But I've seen 7 win a roll-off, so.
Anything can happen when round balls hit round objects.
Sherman's last shot on this lane was less than 9. So, let's see.
We'll see what adjustment he goes with.
I think his adjustment is don't throw it terrible.
Throw a better shot.
Because the last one was.
Sometimes that's the answer.
The last one was very disappointing for him, and it just looks like EJ leaving that 2-8-10 has breathed life into Kyle's opportunity to win this tournament.
Sometimes the best answer is execute. Strike to advance.
He looks so much calmer now, so much more chilled out. Looks good.
No, we go to double roll-off. 6 around the 10. Get your money's worth on FloBowling.
There we go. Hey, I hope these guys don't take too long with this roll-off. I want to avoid traffic.
Everybody's got a flight out of here. They're on their way to Thailand and Korea and Costa Rica for a little bowling swing of the international flavor. But first, we extend the roll-off. And now Tackett moves over to the right lane.
Be interesting to see what change EJ makes after his last one. He seemed pretty confident in it on this lane, and he 2-8-10 last time. So, wow, that's
hated it
go.
for good reason.
Oh, he
but
still got 9.
He got a whole heck of a lot of 9 there.
Number 10 pin for a 9 count.
But this is the lane that Sherman just packed 30. So it feels like this is Kyle's time.
It sure does.
And amazingly, Kyle seems to have been the only player so far who seems to have more issue with the left lane than the right lane. Like the whole time he seemed to have more issue with that left lane, and he's the first one. I mean,
not over till you mark the score, 10 to win. Mark it a strike, dude. Kyle Sherman advances.
That's a strike. Kyle Sherman wins 7-0 but will advance to the semifinal match. Please give it up.
I love this. Elimination bowling. Coming down to 10th frame. Double roll-off. Got a strike to win. That's what makes the PBA Tour so great.
9th frame, you sat down. Did you actually think you'd have a chance, first of all, to even get back in the match and then take EJ Tackett to a roll-off?
No, you know, I didn't make the greatest shots there. Kind of left-toed a couple and went through the face. And then, you know, but it's bowling. You never know what's going to happen. And, you know, you just stay close and gave myself an opportunity, you know.
Yeah. First people you went over to hug as soon as this was done. Hey, mom and dad are here?
Yeah, they got the perfect front row seat. And she's my camera woman for the day, so it works out good.
Well, that's beautiful. Now, next match, you're waiting for the winner of O'Neill and Simonsen. Is there one guy over the other you'd rather bowl against?
No, not really. I mean, everyone here is so good. It's just, it doesn't really matter. Everyone's pretty much the same level. But I mean, Simo did just win that for Bolero for 100,000. So maybe I don't know. I don't know if I want him right now.
Well, you get a little chance to rest. Good luck to you, and we're going to come back with that Anthony Simonsen and Bill O'Neill match from the FloBowling ATX Invite coming up after this short break.
He has 7 PBA Tour titles, including 2 majors. He's the number 3 seed from Little Elm, Texas, Anthony Simonsen. He'll be facing a PBA Tour pro with 11 tour titles. He was a 2006 PBA Rookie of the Year. 2 of those titles were majors. From Langhorne, Pennsylvania, Bill O'Neill.
As we roll on now, O'Neill And Anthony Simonsen do battle to fill the 4th spot in our semifinals today. Big thanks once again to Shannon Powell, the general manager here. The proprietor is John Donovan, who couldn't be here, Stu, because the family is off at Princeton, where Harrison Donovan is looking to get into the Ivy League. So that's a good reason to be out of town with an opening strike from Simonsen.
Simonsen got that one way left of what he wanted to. And it hit the oil, and it just lay like a rug, to quote Jim Callahan, the Storm ball rep. And then you saw what Anthony can create. I mean, having said all those things about him having less power, he slams our first messenger of the day out, I think.
Here's Bill O'Neill. He's 37. 11-time winner on tour. First shot on the right lane. And no, 2-8-10. Comes up late.
Yeah, I think that's been kind of the way that right lane has been going. If you get it a little bit long and a little bit right, long with your break point, so to speak, if you miss that earlier friction, that lane has no chance of coming back. And yeah, that wasn't the start that Bill was after, really. These two are bowling by far the straightest of all of the previous 6 guys. So it'll be interesting to see how it develops late on in the matches, because we've seen the lanes change a little bit in all of the matches late on. Now with these guys playing a little bit further right, maybe the changes will be different.
O'Neill put together a really steady performance throughout the 8 PBA Summer Tour events. He won at Chesapeake, and he didn't finish lower than 22nd during the stretch. He narrowly missed making a second summer show at the Illinois Open, where he finished 6th. Here he is on the left lane. And light in the pocket again, just a 2-pin.
Bill, to me, seems like he's in between. Like, he's not far enough right to be bowling what Simonsen's doing, but he's going too firm to be doing what the other guys were doing. He's kind of just in that no man's land right now, and I'm sure Bill will recognize this and make changes, because like you say, Bill's extremely versatile with speed and hand changes, but right now he looks like he's in the dead man zone.
That is not a fun place to be. Anthony Simonsen heading into the final week of the PBA Summer Tour. He was 24th on the points list with 3 events to go, and then he made a strong showing on the summer swing to earn a spot here in the FloBowling ATX Invite. He made it every show that week to jump to 3rd in points. Here's his shot, and he's got 10 in the pit.
Yeah, another great shot by Simonsen. When I was laughing with Jim Callahan about it, and when we heard this event was going to be here and Simonsen was the only one of the Storm guys, we teased Anthony a little bit, and I said to Jim, I said, hey, if you want me to go down and rep Anthony, I can, because it's only a 30-minute car journey for me, for him not to listen to me, rather than you have to take a plane flight and not listen to you. So Anthony is he's the one thing that he does really well, exceptionally well, is like he commits to his plan, and this is what he's going to do. And you know, I was talking to him, and I was just giving him the feedback of what I'd seen from the other players, not in the practices. And he was actually saying to me that in his mind, the best way to bowl here is straighter in this bowling center when he's practiced here and stuff. So that's what he was going to do. And I was like, well, that's a cool plan. I'm just here to give you the information that I've seen. And here he is, throwing rockets to the right when it looks like the best thing to do is throw it kind of medium at 15, and he's throwing it as hard as he can. Well, maybe not as hard as he can, but pretty firm up 10.
So O'Neill back in the right lane after the 2-8-10. Let's see what adjustment he's got, and that's a good adjustment.
Yeah, it looked like Bill moved his eyes left then. Both of these players are really trying to play the hold, which is atypical from what we've seen previously. A lot of the guys have really been like kind of playing the shape. I guess the only player who's been even close to doing what they're doing is really Jason Sterner, and even he was shaping it more than these two are both trying to do.
High flush. Always one of my favorite things to watch is how quickly the pros adjust after one information shot.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you've really got to act quickly, or else you'd you're just going to be left behind.
I mean, to go 2-8-10 and a poor shot to go pack after that.
Yes.
With that little information, exactly to know where to go, what to do, and how to do it. Oh, I'll let the crowd take the reaction there.
Yikes, that was a ring 10 for old days. It's nice to see Kyle Troop in the crowd.
His lookalike was here.
Oh, I was just going to say that was Kyle and see if anybody noticed.
We've got a gentleman back home that also sports the Afro fish.
I have a relative who on Tina's side of the family, who's about 6'3" or 6'4", and he makes Kyle's afro look like child's play. Kyle actually took a picture with him one time, and Kyle had a hair envy.
Speaking of the coming of age of Simonsen, he says it's really just the process of the knowledge that he's picked up over the last several years. He said, first year out here, I came in and got my brains bashed out, but then I picked up the knowledge, and I'm now learning to play different parts of the lane and execute the plan as you indicated, and that plan executes those 10 pins.
Yes, very much. I mean, like he said he's a big field player, and that's like I say, that's very obvious from watching him. It's a lot of people say they're field players, but they're really not. And Simonsen definitely doesn't fall into that category. You can see he just, like a lot of the time, he doesn't even necessarily 100% know he does it. It's just his brain tells him. I got to get around this one a little bit more.
O'Neill, 3-bagger after the opening 2 frames without strikes, and he takes a 1-pin advantage now after 5. O'Neill says, it's pretty close to my best season, if not the best. With the way the environment is now, and for me to be able to keep up with the guys who have a lot more revs, I've put a lot of time into my game, and I just understand about what I need to do and where I need to play the lanes, and that's how O'Neill can compete with the younger guys that have all the revs.
Yeah, I mean, like I said this earlier, I mean, I don't think that Bill's rev rate's that much less than Kyle Sherman's. Like, I think there's a lot of guys who are doing quite well who are in Bill's kind of zone rev rate-wise. I mean, I don't think his rev rate's that much lower than he's making it seem. Yes, it's lower than Belmo's rev rate or, you know, EJ's rev rate. But is it, you know, I mean, him and Sean have both done extremely well. I don't think that they're like, you know, they're not playing 7 every week.
Anthony Simonsen picked up 100 large in the Bolero Elite Series, just recently competed. And he's now trailing to O'Neill, and he packs the pocket. Just chops the 11-pin lead to just 1.
He just, Simonsen then just lowered his ball speed just a hair, just to make that ball pick up that couple of feet sooner and then shape up, face up and go through the pins much better. We didn't have to worry about that. He didn't have to worry about that ring 10 anymore. So I would say that for the traditional shot makers phrase, I think these two are the best shot makers that are in this field. Both of them can manipulate their ball speeds and their tilts very, very easily. Oh, that was a bad break. That left lane is just so much sharper off the spot. So for both players, they have to be a little bit more open. Simonsen using the quicker ball than Bill's using, and it just came off it like too hard at the end of the pattern. You got to feel like he's probably going to have to give this one a run.
Oh, slides it by, open frame for Anthony Simonsen in the 7th.
Yeah, he might. It does have a feeling of that was all she wrote at this moment in time, doesn't it? But we've seen the matches go back and forth very quickly.
We have indeed, and even within this match, O'Neill's first 2 tentative shots have now given way to a very confident 4-bagger, and now O'Neill with a big lead can extend it further in the 7th. And 5 times. Bill O'Neill, strong 5-bagger, moving to the 8th frame now, in command here against Simonsen.
Yeah, Bill's doing something that he feels really comfortable with. He actually leaked that one right, but now he's got his hand doing the right thing. You can get away with those misses, whereas when you're not confident of what you're doing and you miss a little right, that's when you have those 2-8-10s, 2-pin type of leaves.
10 pin.
I actually think that Bill almost made a little bit of a move off Simonsen's 4-9 there, a little more than he wanted to, because he was afraid of, because he's had the ball check a little bit too much on that lane. Actually, in the fourth frame, if you remember, he turned around and he was kind of shocked how much it turned, and then the last one on that lane was light. So I think he made a little change with his hand and probably went a little bit more up the back of it, and that meant it didn't quite get through the pins how he wanted it to. But he had the space. The main thing he had to avoid there was a split. He closed the frame. He didn't lose any count. Still in pretty good shape. 26 pins. Even if we do it the other way, he's 16 pins up. You know.
Yep. Simonson's got a re-rack. He says, physically, I feel like I've been bowling pretty well. I'd say at the beginning of this summer swing that his confidence wasn't all that high, but he feels like over the past 2 or 3 weeks, everything has fallen into place.
Yeah, that's an understatement. Great shot there by Simo.
Still got 2:32 left on the score sheet to Simonsen.
He wasn't so happy with that one, with what he did with his hand then. But I felt like that was going to strike all day long. It'd be interesting to see the change he makes here. I would actually like to see him throw it, to stay where he was and throw it a little harder, which almost automatically means that Simonson's going to move a little further left.
Having fun at Dart Bowl. We hope you're having fun as well here live on FloBowling today. Foundation frame. Simonsen needs a double. And he got it.
He actually did what I thought made the most sense, especially with it only being one shot. You just up the speed, jam it in there. If you hit a little flat, you leave the 10 pin, it's a 50-50 chance the messenger is going to get it as well. So I think he kind of played the odds there. Just jams it in there. 6 in, out of the gutter into the 10. Now we've got a finish on our hands here. Bill needs a double to wrap this match up. I think this is a big shot because the left lane is much more tricky for both of these guys going straight. So if Bill can get the strike here, he only needs the one shot on the left lane. Looks good.
Packed it.
Great shot. It's much easier for me to see the ones that look good on the right lane because we're sat dead behind the bowler's arm, aren't we, Mike? And
yes, we are.
On this right lane. On the left lane, it's a little bit more challenging.
We got the straight on view on the right side. Bill taking a little extra time here on the re-rack.
The people in the crowd sounded like it was back in the Coliseum. Finish him now.
Interesting thing about Bill's adjustments. When we think of adjustments, we think hand position, we think other elements of the pose. But what interesting was Bill was saying is he varies his starting position. So he could be a little further up on the approach, a little further back on the approach, and it's an interesting point to make that that's another way to look at the approach from front to back.
Yeah, 100%. Bill will move up when he wants to slow down. He'll move back when he wants to speed up a little bit. And another thing, just let's see this shot. That looks a little left. No, that's the angle, I think, because that Bill was pretty confident in that one the whole way along, and that's all she wrote right there. The really interesting thing I actually took from what Bill was saying was that he moves his right foot back when he wants to open his hips up.
Mm-hmm.
And that was me thinking that me and Don were the only people who did that. So like, if he wants to close his hips, he'll actually have his right foot a little bit in front of his left foot. So when you're at home and you're trying this, it's actually a pretty nice way to like open your angle up or close your angle a little bit. So you don't really need to change anything with your swing. Just bring your right foot a little forward if you want to be closed, a little back if you want to be open. But pretty solid performance there from Bill after the first two frames. 248.
So after two tentative shots, O'Neill slams the door shut on Simonsen and advances to the semifinal.
O'Neill strikes out in the 10th frame. Will go on to face Kyle Sherman in the semifinal match. Congratulations to Bill. Please give it up one more time for Anthony Simonsen.
Simonsen, a part of that contingent, Stu, that's heading to Thailand. and then Korea, and then Costa Rica. So a pretty nice international docket coming up for a lot of the PBA bowlers.
Yeah, he is a bit of a nomad. He doesn't really live anywhere. He lives on the road for sure, Simonsen. I think I don't know that he's going to be going to Costa Rica as well. Okay, we're going to head over to Phil. I believe he's got Bill O'Neill with him.
I've got Bill O'Neill here, and Bill, first two frames are a little sketchy, a little light in the pocket, and Simonsen jumps out with a double on you. What did you do in the third frame to turn that match around?
I had tightened my angles up a little bit. I thought I was far enough to the right where if I missed right, it would hook a little earlier, but obviously it didn't. So I moved a little bit left with my feet and then moved my eyes in too to kind of get away from it. I didn't bowl like a super crisp physical game there. I got a couple breaks, and he probably bowled a better game physically than I did. So I'm going to try to keep that wave of good fortune going.
And it's kind of interesting. You guys had 15 minutes of practice before we started the live stream today. How much change did you see from your 15 minutes of practice with all those multiple recoils on the lanes?
Yeah, I had him a good bit different. I could throw it a lot firmer from the spot that I left the 2-8-10 in the first in practice, and that just hooked really early and struck every time. So they're definitely a lot tighter. So I had to make sure I try to get my ball speed down a little bit more for this next match.
You've got Kyle Sherman in the semifinals. Does that affect any way you're going to come out there and approach to that match?
No, I don't think that we don't get enough practice to really affect the lanes that much. I mean, yeah, I may have to move a little bit to the left because he's probably going to play further in than Anthony did. But I just got to keep my eye out for it and just play the lanes as they are.
Well, good luck in your match against Kyle Sherman. We're through all the quarterfinal matches here at Dart Bowl in Austin, Texas. Back with our first semifinal, Jason Sterner, Sean Rash from the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite.
In our first semifinal match, the 2011-12 PBA Player of the Year, 14 titles including 2 majors. From Montgomery, Illinois, Sean Rash. His opponent has 3 PBA Tour titles. From Rochester, New York, give it up for the number 4 seed, Jason Sterner. Rash is elected to let Jason Sterner start this match. How about a round of applause to kick it off?
And we hear from Dart Bowl. This FloBowling PBA ATX Invite invitational event. Points earners from the PBA Summer Swing, the top 8 were invited here. This is a non-title event, but nice bonus payday here. $25,000 to the winner, $13,000 for the runner-up, and the losers in our semifinal matches will each earn $7,000. So here we go. Jason Sterner. Now out of Rochester, New York. Opening shot here in our first semifinal. And a little shaky, and a 7-pin stance.
Yeah, he was begging for that one a little bit. So, but as long as he spares it, it's not the worst start in the world. It was close. He could have got it. It also didn't.
Well, you live and die on that shot, and sometimes the interference doesn't work out. We'll get a pin that will need to be removed. This was a deadwood from back in my old days. I hope our producer-director, Jeff Goodger, is on that situation.
Rash fires one from the back.
Just clearing some deadwood, folks. Don't panic. Nice shot, Sean.
And for those scoring along at home, it appeared to be a mechanical solution from the back that got the deadwood for those that love the detail of details in professional bowling.
Yeah, it looks like Sean's changed to Sean's changed to a pin down hero.
So here's Rash. He dispatched Tommy Jones. And 6 gets the 10.
That ball looks a lot quicker off the spot than the one he was using earlier, that conspiracy. Yeah, so it should allow Sean to soften up his speed a little bit. And it's going to get to the spot and then come off it a bit harder, and that's kind of what he needed on that right lane. Be interesting to see what it does on the left lane, though. might make it a little harder to control.
Well, here's our opportunity to see that. Rash on the left lane. Look at his summer on the PBA Tour. And mixing strike.
We've seen that hit a couple of times. And always on that lane.
It's always on that left lane. We see that 4-5-7 combo. Ill wall shot as we're bowling on the Dick Weber. We're oiled out to 45 feet. Dick Weber famous for that light pocket hit, shaking out the 4-5-7. Now Sterner after the spare. First crack at the right lane here in the semifinal. Bang.
Great shot. Sterner back on track straight away.
Jason Sterner won his first career PBA title in grand fashion when he shot a 299 at West Millat in the title match of the 2013 PBA Don Carter Classic in the Arena Bay in Allen Park, Michigan at Thunderbowl. And light, and it's going to be a 2-8. Ball goes wide.
Yeah, he looked like he really missed that one off his hand. It really rolled off the outside of his hand, and he just didn't catch her at the bottom. And then, of course, the worst thing happened was he missed right. But he got an okay break to get away with it, to just leave the 2-8. Oh boy, you missed it. Oh. That shows how much oil there is in the middle of the lane, because when he let go of that, it looked like he dead missed it.
Sean uses cardio and a combination of bike and treadmill for his physical training. Double working third frame. Packed.
Real nice. That looks like a nice change for Sean when he got into that ball.
Rash has got 14 career PBA Tour titles. Among memorable victories, the Masters Championship pops out at me at Miller Park in Milwaukee back in 2007. Also a 2012 PBA Tournament of Champions winner. I believe that was in his Player of the Year campaign.
I mean, if you're going to say one that popped out when you think of Sean, you got to be like, how'd you like your hometown hero now?
Well, a classic.
Oh.
A little high, but he got it. A little higher than high flush.
Yeah.
And a ham bone for Rash out of the gate here in the semifinal. Sterner struck back in the second here on the right lane.
Sterner's ready to go, that's for sure. Shot.
Oh, tempting.
I think Jason's in a little bit of trouble here, and it's one bad shot on that left lane that's really, you know, it's put more pressure on him than he needs to be, and then when your opponent starts with a four-bagger, you're in a hole.
That gets your attention.
Quickly.
That gets your attention.
And unless your name's Norm Duke, it isn't particularly relaxing when a certain silver fox says, Jason Sterner trailing by a lot.
He has a bit of frosting on the pumpkin. As we mentioned, in great physical condition due to change in eating habit and through his strength and conditioning program. Back up against the wall here in the beer frame. That's a good place to put it when you want to mount a comeback. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Rash by 31. Bowling.
And to me, the beauty of the game is not only physically hitting 10 pins, but I just love the psychological highs and lows and putting the pressure on the opponent. I love that part of the game as well.
Yeah, I'd like to see a bit more back and forth between the players, a little bit of chirping here and there, but, you know, we can't always get what we always want.
Sent that one a little wider, flat 10.
Yeah, got that one a little faster and maybe that's what forced it to go a little bit further right. It was a decent shot. I mean, it's certainly not going to be one that he, you know, tells the grandkids about, that's for sure. But runs the spare down. 30-pin lead.
Sean, big family man. Of course, a dad 2 times over now. Kaylee and Olivia. our proud children of Sarah and Sean Rash. Also, I saw Diana and Pop Rash in the house. Great family support. Always a function of the Rash machine. Here he is in the 6th frame. 30-pin lead. Oh, solid tap. But this is the moment Sterner has a strike up. So you're Sterner on the bench, you're licking your chops.
For sure.
Now Sterner has opportunity to go pack and get Mr. Rash's attention.
Yes, he does. But I think the main thing for Jason is to stay in the moment. Don't get too worried about getting all these pins back straight away. You just got to focus on making a good shot. Sean's opened the door a little bit.
And they all fall down in many directions.
It isn't 31 anymore, Mr. Von Kruger. Cuts the lead down to 19. Strike here down to single dig.
Sterner walks it off, double working, 7th frame. And he got it! Turkey! Asked it to wheel, and wheel she did.
Sterner showing a little bit of body English there. I like it. Like it. Great shot. Stayed underneath it, got his hand more around it, and he let Sean know, I'm here to play.
And once again, the match turns on a dime. Now Rash has to answer in the 7th. And he does.
Good shot. Solid shot.
The beauty of match play bowling, Stu. Saturday afternoon, elimination matches. Coming up next, our 2nd semifinal with Kyle Sherman and Bill O'Neill. 25 grand bonus on top in this FloBowling PBA ATX Invite. Key shot of the match, 8th frame. Rash can double to extend his lead.
Gotta go.
Light, and the 7 stands.
He got that one pretty far down the lane and pretty to get to that point to the right. If his break point had been a little earlier, but that far right, he would have probably been fine. But once you start to get it a long way right and a long way down the lane, that's a bad combination. I think Sterner's going to take a re-rack here. So the ball's back in Sterner's court. Can take the lead with a strike here.
Sterner likes to throw it hard. He likes to be fast and aggressive at the bottom. And in speaking to him, he was telling me about where he drops the ball into his swing being the key to his success.
Yeah. Timing thing for him. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Jason practices a lot, so you would expect him to be good at repetition.
On the knee, light, 2-4.
Oh. 2-4. I think he just got a little bit jacked up there with the speed. The adrenaline took over a little bit, got it a little fast, a little in, and then it didn't want to pick up.
Sterner covers, trails by 11 with 2 frames to play.
Getting 8 there was actually somewhat of a decent break for him as well, because now if he strikes here, Sean's still going to need a 3-bagger to shut him out.
2:37 max left for Sterner. Rash already in the 220s. Foundation frame. And down goes the 10-pin.
Sean's taking a re-rack as well.
You see anything wrong with that, Rack?
No, but once people start leaving the 10 pin a lot, you start to think about it a bit more, and you start to. I'm not a big re-rack guy, to be honest. Most of the time I use a re-rack, it's to like slow the match down or reset my own brain more than it is to. I don't like the way the pins align.
Now
Big
Rash,
shot here for Sean.
After that re-rack, on the spare, 9th frame. Oh, he drilled it.
Much better shot. Kept the ball more in the oil. Got his break point way further left on that shot. I like that one. I like that one a lot on that right lane. That's definitely where he needs to be at.
Rash's progression, he came out of the collegiate system, bowling out of Wichita State, became a 9-time member of Team USA, and as you mentioned, he came out of the PTQ system at the time, and to claim his first title in Danny Weissman's backyard to send him along his career path on the PBA Tour. High, 4-pin.
He tried to do the same thing that he did on the right lane then, I feel like. He tried to keep the break point in, and it just doesn't seem to want to work on that left lane now. It comes off it so much sharper than it does on the right lane. So the situation we're in now, Sean needs to make this and get at least 9. So Sean needs at least 9 on this shot to force Jason to need 2 strikes in the 10th frame to win the match. Any less than 9 here, and Sterner will only need the first one to still be alive. If Sean was to get 8 here, Sterner would need strike 9 spare for a tie. So, and also it changes your mindset as well. If he gets the 8 here, and Sterner only needs strike 9 spare for the tie, it makes that getting that second strike easier, because you know you're going to bail out. You know, if I get 9, I'm still alive. So Sean's going to take his time here. He's taking the re-rack. Veteran play. Take the re-rack. You know,
Ice him.
Well, yeah, but also bring your own pulse down a little bit. Like slow your heart rate down a little bit. Get into it.
Oh my! There's the
worst
7
possible
count.
Result.
225.
I wouldn't have believed that. Wow. So now Sterner needs strike 9 spare to win. Sean kind of fell off balance on that shot. Sean's saying he slipped a little bit on that one. Man, that sucks.
Shirt collar getting a workout there.
Sterner's taking a re-rack as well here. Sterner's trying to slow it down, because in his last match in the 10th frame, he got the job done, but it certainly wasn't the prettiest job he got done. He had the kind of fortunate bucket crumbler followed by the straight through the face to get 9, and then he flagged the spare. So I think Jason just needs to get back in that mindset, you know, get back into his process.
Must have this strike, 10th frame.
Main key for Jason is not overthrowing it. He didn't overthrow that one.
Oh, he pured it. Work's not done. And he gets a strike, and Jason Sterner's gonna make the final at the ATX Invite.
He had the most conservative crotch chop in history there.
Another back and forth, Stu, and needing to perform in the 10th frame, the hallmark of PBA competition.
Yes, sir. Stone 8 on the fill.
That's where it belongs. 236, 225 winner, and Jason Sterner will bowl for this FloBowling PBA ATX Invite Championship. Let's send it down lane side to Phil Brylow.
All right, here we go. Jason Sterner what can you say? Last time you kind of almost gave it away. This time you had to punch out in order to win. What did you do to get yourself set up for that 10th frame?
Calm my nerves, a lot of deep breaths, and just tried to stay in the moment and have fun. I think I put so much emphasis on these moments. You got to enjoy them, and we don't get them very often. So when you do, you got to embrace them and just have a good time.
Yeah, a little rough start. Only one strike the first 4 frames. What change did you make to get almost every strike but one all the way out?
I think a little bit of it was just settling the nerves and filling the pair out. A couple errant shots early, I got fast, and then I could took a couple deep breaths, made some good shots, and then I got my wheels under me, and then we were good to go.
A little different attitude coming into the final match because it's going to be best of 3. It's not single elimination. Does that change up how you approach it?
No, I think the picture's pretty clear. It's just go out there and execute and see what happens.
Good luck to you in that final match. We're going to see who you're going to be taking on. Our next match is going to be Kyle Sherman and Bill O'Neill, and we're going to be back with that from the FloBowling ATX Invite momentarily.
Bowling fans, it's time for our second semifinal match. He has 11 PBA Tour titles. He was the 2005 6 PBA Rookie of the Year. Those 11 titles include 2 major championships. From Langhorne, Pennsylvania, Bill O'Neill. He'll be facing the number 7 seed. He won his first career title earlier this summer when he captured the Striking Against Cancer Mixed Doubles Championship. Looking for win number 2 from O'Fallon, Missouri, Kyle Sherman. Kyle Sherman start the match. Good luck, bowlers.
Well, all you guys on watching on FloBowling learned that before the people here. So Kyle is starting with the hammer web like he finished the last match.
Here he is, brand new PBA Tour titleist, winning with Amanda Green at the Striking Against Breast Cancer Mixed Doubles in Houston. Opening shot of our second semifinal. 6 around the 10.
I don't think that 212 is going to be enough for him to be in a roll-off this time.
Yeah, I would concur on that wager.
I mean, I've been wrong several times today in my assertions of things, but I think I can be pretty confident on that one.
Look at Sherman Summer via the numbers. Cross lane setup for the 10-pin. Good cover. Here's O'Neill, the 11-time winner. 2 titles here in 2019, the Harry O'Neill Chesapeake Open in Chesapeake, Virginia, celebrating the career of the great Harry O'Neill, former PBA region manager down in the South region, and also a winner at the Hall of Fame Classic in Arlington, Texas. Now O'Neill on the right lane. His opening shot here in the semifinal. A little funky, but 7 and 10 go away.
More of the same, it seems, for Bill O'Neill. He's found something after those first 2 shots against Simonsen. He made a change, and he had 1 miss for the rest of that game. So 9 out of 10. So he's 10 out of 11 strikes since he made that change. It looks good. He's also using the Futura, which was the same ball that A.J. Johnson used early on.
A look at Bill O'Neill's numbers this summer. Chance to double here for O'Neill, second frame. Oh, 10-pin, roller no.
See, I can be the cooler for anybody.
I don't believe in And Kyle Sherman picks up the spare. Speaking of debuts, I'm making my debut on FloBowling. Also, Stu, earlier today I made my debut on the Brad and Kyle YouTube channel.
Fancy.
Those guys do a nice job of putting out content, and it's part bowling instructional, part travelogue, part guys out on the road having fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's very popular. They're doing a very good job. They're promoting the sport, and it's certainly fun to check in on it.
ATX behind Sherman, third frame, spare. Light and trouble, 2-4-10.
Sherman just he didn't get solid at the foul line at all on that shot. He really fell out of it. If we watch the replay here, it just
everything was going right.
Yeah. Maybe it was more of a step out of it in frustration than falling out of it, but he just got a little too steep and a little fast, and then he's just got no chance on this the way this lanes have developed. Oh.
Just missed that 10 pin. I don't know how did the 2 and the 4 looked like it split the 10.
The 2 right round, unfortunately for him.
Wow.
Kicking the pills
Yes,
would be
indeed.
how we'd describe that one in the trade.
O'Neal strikes spare, third frame. And 2 strikes on the right lane for O'Neal.
There we go. I like it. I like the reaction Bill's got. He's doing something that he's really good at. And it actually looks like that's from what he's almost dead on top of where Sterner's bowling. So that seems to be the best solution that anybody's found today, like keeping it kind of in front of themselves, which was kind of what Simonsen said to us, that was the way to bowl in this bowling center. There we go.
Double. O'Neal figures out the left lane.
Veteran maneuver there. Sherman had the open and Bill just stood on his throat. But we've seen this countless times today. The people who actually get off to the good start have actually been the ones who've been struggling a little bit late in the matches. So see what Kyle's got here.
Oh my, wide open split.
He was definitely more definitely more in front of him on that shot, but just wasn't the right solution. I think if we sit and chat with Kyle after this, I think he'd tell you that he just hasn't really bowled very well. Like he bowled fantastically well to finish that match off against Tackett, like the 3 and the 10th, but he hasn't bowled anywhere near as well as he's bowled the rest of the year.
Picks up the count, 8 out in the 4th, and now a big lead for Bill O'Neal in this semifinal. The winner goes on to face Jason Sterner for 25 grand and the honor of winning the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite. Points earned by these 8 players in the PBA Summer Swing earn them the opportunity to bowl here and gives us the chance to visit Austin, Texas, the home of Flow Sports, and to showcase the greatest bowlers in the world. And at Flow Sports and FloBowling, based here in Austin, Texas. Now Sherman really needs to X and hope for help from O'Neal, 5th frame.
Much better shot there by Kyle.
O'Neal leads by 37.
O'Neal immediately gesturing to Kirk Von Kruger for a re-rack.
And for the guys at home who are watching, it may feel like I'm piling on Sherman a little bit here. I'm just talking about how he's bowled the rest of the year, and he's just this isn't what he'd expect from himself. Like, you know, he's had some pretty average shot making for what he's been doing the rest of the year. You know, these are the 8 best bowlers of the last 3 months on the PBA tour, and Kyle's just, I think he'll be disappointed with how it's gone. It's just a shame when you get in these situations you don't feel comfortable, and then you play a guy who's as good as Bill O'Neill, who's doing something he feels comfortable with.
Spells trouble.
Yeah, and it makes it harder to make shots, and when it gets harder to make shots, then you start to make worse shots. It's just, it all kind of just unravels and snowballs, like you say, and it's a horrible position to be in. It's a better position to be in than commentating on it, though.
Mike J and Beef Stew with you live in Austin. O'Neill began this run really at the World Series of Bowling. He's 6th on the money list for the season, and he was the only player to make match play in every event at the World Series of Bowling in Allen Park, Michigan.
Well, to be fair, he won the first event as well. That was a pretty good start to the year. Making him Hall of Fame eligible at the Hall of Fame tournament was kind of a cool deal. But yeah, he was exceptional at the World Series, but he had a pretty nice year the whole way through, to be honest, watching him.
Sherman in a deep hole, strike working. He can still shoot 233.
That's better. That's better, Kyle. I think it'll be more frustration for Kyle than anything else, because, or disappointment maybe, because when he's made really good shots, it looks like he's able to do what the guys who are scoring really high are doing. It's just he hasn't really been able to link enough of those shots together.
He trails by 47, can cut it to 37 with a strike here in the 7th.
That's another good one.
And that's what you do when you're way behind. You put a turkey on the board.
Yeah, you can relax a little bit.
Sherman cuts that lead to 37. O'Neill's bowling the 7th frame.
Because we've seen ball reaction turn on a dime.
He's so much more solid at the foul line. He like those last 2 or 3 shots, he's really knuckled down, thrown the shots he needed to.
Seventh frame for O'Neill, working on the 4-bagger. Make it 5, shivers the 9.
It don't look like there's much change out of that, does it?
No, that does not smell like a door opening with a crisp breeze to refresh oneself.
I was about to say, what does a door opening smell like? But you answered it for me. I like it. As long as it's not a bathroom door opening, we'll be good.
Yes, depending on the occupant, indeed. All strikes for O'Neill except the 2nd frame. He's up in the 8th.
Looks like another one.
Bang!
Great shot making by Bill O'Neill. After those first 2 frames against Simonsen, he's been pretty deadly. 16 out of 18. And it's not like there's been many of those that have been in doubt, is it?
No.
They've been pretty much no doubters the whole way through. How do you think the mindset changes for some of these players with it being a best of 3 coming up for the final?
Well, I think it just gives you a little more room to operate.
A little more breathing room. Yeah, I can see that, yeah.
It's just a matter of, you know what you have in front of you in a 10-frame match, but I think just knowing that you have room to work. It gives you some opportunity to test your current theory for how you want to play and be a little, you don't have to be as go for it mode.
As precise, yeah. As aggressive, maybe, yeah. I do think, though, that it alters tactically how you bowl the lane a little bit, though, because if you're going to bowl really close to the head pin, you want to be careful because you can make the lane really bad for yourself for games 2 and 3. I'm not necessarily saying what Bill's doing is, but tactically that can happen, and you trap yourself.
So you need to have a longer game plan when you're bowling a 3-game match
I
versus...
feel so, yeah. Because you don't want to be in a situation where you do something that if you don't win the first 2 games, you're dead game 3.
Right, you just put yourself in a hole to where...
because then
you
put
open
way
yourself
more
up.
pressure, you put way more pressure on yourself and how it's going to turn out.
And at this point, certainly looking like Bill O'Neill will move on to face Jason Sterner.
Well, outside of Bill O'Neill's family, I know one person who's kind of excited by this, Mr. Norm Duke.
Indeed.
He'll be happy to make that
He'll
reasonably
be able to,
short drive for him down to the Kegel Training Center.
Norm, a 2-time winner on tour this year to extend his incredible, legendary Hall of Fame career. Norm currently 3rd on the all-time list when he picked up his 40th, his 39th and 40th titles earlier this year. A magic 40. Only 3 players in PBA Tour history have done it. Walter Ray Williams Jr., Earl Anthony, and Norm Duke, 40 or more. Bill O'Neill will advance and will face Jason Sterner in our championship match. $25,000 bonus on top, non-title event. Here for 8 players, the opportunity to have had success in the FloBowling Summer Swing to earn this extra invite to compete here at the PBA ATX Invite. And just like that, Bill O'Neill has the opportunity to shoot 280.
Yeah. I guess Kyle wasn't... If you told Kyle after his spare in the second frame he was out of the wood.
Yeah. Well, you called a couple things. Number one, you didn't think 212 was going to win.
And he can still shoot 212.
Well, the other thing is sometimes you just run into a buzzsaw. Just the nature of how things work.
Sherman.
But the emergence of Sherman is undeniable. His connection with the fans is undeniable. And he and Brad Miller are bringing a new way for fans to connect with bowlers and fans across the world via social media. And we haven't seen nearly the end of Kyle Sherman. So tip of the cap to Kyle for performance, which earned him the ability to make it here. And $7,000 will salve the wounds to some degree.
Yep.
And there is the aforementioned 212. Bill O'Neill, the winner, standing by with Phil Brylow.
That was one of the smoothest looking 280s I think I've ever seen, Bill. It was pretty amazing. What was the key to that big score?
You know, it's just like we talked about earlier. I had to tighten my angles up. I didn't get too many balls too far to the right. And I just had to keep my hand softer and the ball rolling a little bit. I didn't want to get to a point where my hand was speeding up and I was hitting it too hard and getting around it. I needed to, because my angles are tighter, I needed to keep the ball rolling a little heavier and my hand a little softer.
So game plan is apparently that once we get into that final match, no change on the bowling ball whatsoever?
I mean, yeah, I'm always going to keep an open mind. I'm always going to, have other balls available. You never know what's going to happen the next rerun. But yeah, the game plan is going to be exactly the same until something happens.
And then best of 3 final match, does that change any of the strategy going in?
Not really. I think I'm just going to, if it was best of 7, yes. Best of 3, maybe not. I'm just going to, play my game and, not really, there's no point in sacrificing in a game and trying to set the lanes up. It's only 2 out of 3, so.
Well, it's you and Jason Sterner in the final here at the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite. We'll be back with that championship match after the lanes get reconditioned with that great Dick Weber pattern.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the championship match, a best of 3 competition. The number 4 seed has 3 PBA Tour titles from Rochester, New York, Jason Sterner. His opponent was the 2005-6 PBA Rookie of the Year, 11 PBA titles, including 2 majors. From Langhorne, Pennsylvania, Bill O'Neill. How about a nice round of applause to kick off this last match? Thank you. Good luck, bowlers.
It's a best of 3 games here, little room to operate. Sterner will begin game 1. He's now out of Rochester, New York. I had opportunity to visit up in that neck of the nape. Lovely part of America. Also a good music town, Rochester, just like Austin. Opening shot, mixer, and a strike.
I think that it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the second game. Like obviously it's all going to be interesting, but as the lanes start to break down and change, you know, who makes the best guess first?
Oh my, 280, 710.
Pocket 710.
Well, we didn't see that coming, did we?
I did not see that coming. And let's see if Billy can waggle one out of the deck. We've seen it. Open frame. Bill scratching his head, and so am I. Look at that again.
Maybe that's what everybody's been re-racking to avoid.
Wow, yeah. Smash 7, and the 10 doesn't go either. Oh. There's Bill's summer of love. Left lane after the open. And back on the strike train.
Well, I think Bill's shown that he can shake off an early open and still come back with a good score. So I don't think it's going to affect him too much. It's just, I think he was a little confused by what he saw with that first shot. So see if Sterner can take advantage of that and get out to an early lead.
Oh my, almost a repeat. 7 goes away.
This doesn't feel like a pattern where the scores are going to get higher as the match goes, to be honest. Like with the way it breaks down, I don't envisage them, like if it goes to a third game, it being a, 260 to 250 type of game.
Yeah, although we've seen the pattern, the first match was a little low scoring, and then it kind of rose. And so is that a function of the lane transitioning?
Yeah, I think so. And I think like the first match is always like, you're not really sure what a good score is. And, you had 2 guys who played each other a lot of times, and I think they were kind of like, it's just weird. Being the first match is always weird. And
a lot of unknowns.
Yeah, but I just feel like with the way this pattern's been, I don't know. I feel like the further left these guys are going to get forced, the worse it's going to look with the angles they're playing. So if it does go to 3 games, I don't imagine it's going to be massively high scoring, but we'll see.
7-10 here last time. And mixing strike this time. Power mix for O'Neill. Gets the X and the double. Bill's first title coming back in 2009. That's 10 years ago now at the Chameleon Championship, at the very first World Series of Bowling. 11 times a winner on the PBA Tour, earning him Hall of Fame consideration when that time comes. Flush.
Okay, looks like Bill's shook off that early 7-10.
It's O'Neill by 9.
We saw that in his first match with the 2 tentative shots and then basically went pack the rest of the way.
See how much better that one went through the pins. Didn't deflect off the head pin like the others have been doing. It's a little inside.
Oh, 4-pin explodes.
Seems like that lane's even tighter down the lane now than it's been in any of the matches. And actually in practice, I saw it. I saw it coming off the pattern quite hard, so it transitioned a lot in the practice session that they bowled. And now it seems like when they keep it on the inside, it's actually struggling to get up the hill, so to speak.
Sterner, 3 out of 4, double working, 5th frame. Game 1 in this best of 3 championship match for $25,000, and a little bit of motion off to the left, and Sterner will reset. Career average in the championship round, 226.8 for Sterner.
That sounds like a lot, but when you consider that he had a 299 in there.
Ah, yes. That means there was likely something else in there. Shaker and a 4.8.
Yes, for all the people at home, I am a terrible person. I'm sorry.
But you married well.
Oh, yeah.
And I just met your mother-in-law. What a sweet lady. Oh, open frame.
Oh, Jason, that's going to frustrate him. That was the same side he missed the 4-pin on earlier. The 4.8 is a horrible spare to shoot at. There's so many different ways you could miss it.
O'Neill turkey working, beer frame.
That's in.
Oh, I'll take a Shiner Bach. 4 in a row.
You see what I was saying? Those shots were coming up and through the pins earlier. Now it's just like laying there and just skidding through. Because Bill definitely kept that one inside then, and it just skated on him. But while you keep hitting them light and they keep falling over, you do it until you leave a flat 7, and then you do it some more and hope you don't leave another one. It's definitely going through the pins better on this left lane. I think you'll see his ball shape up much more and go through the 8-pin on this lane.
No.
Wow.
Stunner.
Now, there you go. Now that has to be the worst piece of commentary ever. Oh yeah, this one will go through the 8-pin 5-7.
I challenge that assertion. I've made some statements in the past as well, but a spinner 5 with the 7.
That's spectacular. I just said it was going to go through so much better than 5-7. Wow. Sorry, Bill. That was the ultimate commentator's curse there.
But it's a great statement to make in the way things can change and how shot by shot things get different. And but
there we go.
Not when you clean it up. No harm, no foul.
Wow. Maybe he's right. Maybe his rev rate is lower than he lets on.
It's the old bowling game of cat and mouse. Sterner in the pocket.
That was the best strike we've seen on that right lane.
O'Neill up 21, chance to cut into that lead. This is game 1. We're best of 3 here for our championship. Not a title. The ATX Invite bonus money for the top 8 points earners of the PBA Summer Swing that was conducted in Aurora, Illinois. So an opportunity to showcase the greatest bowlers here in the home of FloBowling. Bang! Double for Sterner. That was a statement shot.
Yeah, way to get back into it.
O'Neill now leads by 11. Bowling 7th frame.
Really pure shots there.
The beauty of bowling, you don't have to directly address your opponent when you can do something like that. Now O'Neill in the 7th. Right back. Heavy rolling rocket to the pocket, drops 10.
Good comeback from Bill after the 5-7. He obviously made a little bit of adjustment on the right lane where he'd been going light.
Interesting there, just with that motion, just O'Neal setting his feet and sighting his target and going through the mental preparation before he executes the shot, and then boom, he executes. Just a good lesson for anyone.
Yeah, I think he's just like visualizing what he wants to do, like you're saying.
And he strikes, mixes them.
That wasn't what he visualized.
Got the job done.
O'Neal leads by 21.
No one will show more disdain for an off-center hit than Mr. O'Neal.
Loves a head shake, doesn't he, Bill?
I love it. It's classic O'Neal. He stuck the landing, and we've given him a 10 for the effort. Now, Jason Sterner double working in the 8th. Lights, 210.
He was up and out of that one really early. He didn't like what he did with his hand on that one at all.
So as we mentioned, room to operate in the best of 3. Not an enviable position to be down 1, but someone's got to win 2.
Yes, sir. Jason now has really got to, like, I don't feel like he needs to do anything different. I just feel like he needs to focus on getting into his rhythm and his zone again, because I feel like when he's performed the right shots, it's been really, really good. He's just got to stick his position at the foul line a little bit better. Because, I mean, he had the strike, 7-10, it was just the 10 pin. Then he had the double. Then he had the 4-8 where he got a little fast and he flagged it. Then it was a double, and then he was kind of open out of it for the 2-10. So I don't think he's going to trick it to, like those shots aren't going to get fixed by a ball. They just need, he just needs to stick his foul line position better. And right now, maybe the answer is just try and throw some better shots and, you know, hope that you're going to get a little bit of a change out of Bill O'Neal, because right now it doesn't feel it matters very much what Sterner does at all. Bill's just making better shots than everybody else.
Yep, O'Neal rolling, and now both players can use the 10th to fish or to just execute. What do you do in these situations? Do you get more information? Do you just do what you do and not worry about?
I'll always try and get more information.
Yeah.
If you have a better idea of what you have to do when you what you need to do when you change ball, you always want to know. So Bill's actually he's going to try what looks like a Rodman Pearl here from Hammer. That's his ball down from that one. See, it's a little cleaner, a little more aggressive down the lane. I doubt he's going to change to it straight away, but knowing what that one's going to do
If
off
he
that
needs it,
ball
he
is
knows
going to
it.
be
Yeah.
like key. Bill moved a little bit further in to see what it would do. It did something I think he quite likes.
257 for O'Neal, winner here in game 1. 1 game away from pocketing $25,000.
It's interesting. It looks like, from my point of view, that Bill's going to a weaker ball and Jason's actually trying a stronger ball here.
Yeah, that ball really duck hooked. So Sterner fishing for info.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right direction for Jason at all. Like, we'll see. It just feels like what he's got actually looks okay. He just needs to make better shots.
Trying to strike line again. Bill O'Neal wins in game 1. And Sterner's got to figure it out quickly or find himself settling for runner-up. And we'll take a look at highlights of the first match. And or the first game of this championship match. And in terms of where the lanes are going, do you feel that this is a more high-scoring environment, or is the lane transition going to play to where it could be lower scoring in this game, based on the pattern and rhythm we've seen of?
It doesn't feel like anything Bill O'Neill's doing. It looks like it's going to lean towards it being lower scoring, doesn't it?
No.
So I feel like Jason's got an okay reaction. He just threw a couple of bad shots.
Yep.
But it's very easy to talk yourself into needing to do something different. So we'll see. I mean, I don't think you're getting much change out of Bill. So you've just got to pick what you like. He tried a different ball. He tried going stronger, and that wasn't the right answer. So we'll see what he does. He's had a pretty long talk there with Sean Rash. I think Sean's basically trying to, if I was to guess, I think that Sean's really just trying to get him to talk through where his brain is with it. Like, I don't think he's really telling him what he should do. It's more a case of, like, getting him to get his mind working the correct way to solve his problem himself. So we'll see. Looks like he's sticking with the same hero that he was using before. So here we go.
O'Neill clears the deck in frame one. Now Sterner down a game on the right lane. Crowd behind him. No, just 4-pin high.
Of course the crowd are behind him. The crowd want more bowling.
Yep.
Aren't we all behind
I want more
Jason
bowling.
Sterner
Jeff
right now?
Goodyear wants more bowling.
Yeah.
Big thanks to everyone here. It's a tremendous production. FloBowling's production here of the PBA ATX Invite. The set as good as you'll find on the national television show, and the crew here has been fun to work with and excellent, and everyone back in the control room keeping everything operating. It's been fun to make my debut on FloBowling, and tip of the cap to all the technical folks, camera operators, and everyone involved with bringing you this action. Good old Saturday afternoon bowling. Here's Sterner now, second frame. Pack.
Great shot. Sterner made a really, really good shot then.
The match is even. O'Neill's bowling in the second frame.
Bill taking a re-rack here. He didn't want this match to start on the right lane the same way as it did last time. No 7-10 this time, is what he's thinking.
The re-racks giveth and they taketh away sometimes. And it gets high, avoids a 4-9, just a 9. Interesting, as you mentioned earlier about O'Neill and the foot separation, I noticed that the left foot was a little ahead here, opening himself up just a shade.
Yes, and he definitely got that one. He got that one right early, and it actually hooked more than I was expecting it to. I don't think Bill really wanted to throw it that far right, but it came off it much harder than I would have expected. So I don't think that was any cause for concern really for Bill. It's probably just a maybe he'll move a couple left off that, just to, you know, try and get ahead of that move a little bit. I think anytime you see your ball hook a little bit too much on this right lane isn't really too big of a deal. Most of the times that they've had issues is when it hasn't really picked up.
O'Neill back on the left side, strike spare, third frame, flush.
Wow, that one held for days then. That looked like that was going high for all his money. I think Bill was a little...
Sterner bowling.
I think
Third frame.
that was a direct consequence of the one on the right lane. When he got it right early, he was just like he didn't want to do that again.
Important shot here for Sterner.
Yeah, momentum-wise and everything, just trying to get out of his own way sort of thing, like get back on track. Likes it.
For good reason.
There we go. Good shot, Jay. Just needs to get back into that groove that he had earlier against Rash late on in that match.
mixer, strike,
Oh, there we
turkey.
go. That's what he liked to see. Gets a little bit of a
Sterner leads by 20.
little bit of a break on the way the pins flew around there. Nice. We like to see that. Loosens you up a little bit. When you know you got a little bit more area at the pins, loosens your swing up a little bit, allows you to make better shots. It's,
Saws him down, does O'Neill. Double.
Bill looked like he kept that one a little bit further left, and I think he probably moved a little left with his feet.
O'Neill can even up the game. He's up 1 in this best of 3. He can even things up with a turkey back in the left lane. And all strikes on the left lane for O'Neill.
There we go. Great shots by Bill there. Let's see if Sterner can continue this. Continue making good shots. Stay in the moment like he spoke about in his interview with you.
Yeah, but important double there for O'Neill because it puts Sterner in the mindset of, I can't miss.
I think he already felt like that.
Even more so. 5th frame.
It's got to go.
No, flat 10.
That's frustrating. You actually make the adjustment off the previous one on that lane that went light. You slow your speed, try and get your hand a little bit more around it to let it come around the corner, and then you run into the 10 pin.
A kick in the pills. All right, big shots here for O'Neill. Doesn't want to go to game 3. Would love to just stop it and be done here. Pocket the check and be on his way. Turkey working, 4 to 5 strikes. And again here, left foot slightly ahead of the right. Bit of an open look for Bill. He talked about earlier, that's his setup to favor the open look. And drills the pocket.
Another
big
great shot. Such a good performance by Bill so far today.
And just a continuation of the consistency we've seen from him this season. And at the age of 37, in the prime of his career.
Yeah, I mean, if we look at it today, he had 248, 280, 258.
After the 280?
So. Yeah, I believe he shot 258 last game. So
yes,
yeah,
yes,
he's certainly bringing it. That's for sure. Another good one.
Oh, high flush.
See, that was a good shot. It just hooked a little earlier than Bill thought it was going to. So if you watch Bill's body language, I think he was happy with it until it picked up as early as it did. Like here, he's happy with it, and he's like, oh. But then it just stopped there. That's what the 45-foot pan will do for you.
2:58 left for Sterner here in game 2. Yeah, get the feeling you need them all. And another flat 10, but the messenger comes and delivers the knockout punch. A little late.
Jason certainly looks like he's enjoyed himself today. That was a fun finish.
Wait for it. Wait for it.
Timber!
The second time around.
He had the slide out and the kick on that one.
He gave it the business.
Here we go. Here's a big shot. Can he stay in it? That's got a hook.
No, sir. Picket fence.
And that looks like that's probably going to be all she wrote.
Yeah. O'Neal already in the 240s. Via pace. And that will make a tough frame sting even more open for Sterner in the 8th. Now Sterner with only 226 left. Means he needs 2 big holes from O'Neal.
Yeah, and Bill kind of rehearsing, like just trying to visualize what he wants to do, like just get his alignment right. He still knows that he's got to finish this off, you know. When you got a guy down, you just got to finish him off.
Mix, nope, light, shaker 4.
He just missed that friction spot a little bit then, I think. But still, no harm done, runs the spare down. Still, like you say, he's 239 pace right now. You know, strikes in the 9th frame, he can even afford an open in the 10th would still, at worst, give him a tie.
Sterner needs help. No way to do it without it. Roller no.
So Bill runs this one down, another frame ticked off. All right.
Oh, a deadwood. That'll get the folks in the back room excited. We'll give you information. It's a little far away for the hook. I think Kirk Von Kruger is, yeah, he's consulting. He's looking behind. He's looking for help. We're going to likely need a human solution here beyond the hook. And Shannon Powell, the GM here, is quickly moving to center control as we monitor the deadwood situation. But then the players took it into their own hand. And the slow roll down the right gutter has excised. Textbook deadwood clear.
Textbook wrong hand slow roll.
Very well done, sir.
Offhand. I guess offhand is the
Yes.
better phrase.
Yes. Accuracy is key in deadwood clears. It's like when Kevin Harlan calls the crazy fan on the field. Maybe a deadwood clear will become a viral video. Here's Sterner, 226 left. Needs all 4 for a glimmer of hope. Gets the first. Tenth frame now. Sterner down a game. He needs all 3 strikes to shoot 226. Oh. Slides out the left side of the rack.
We're getting into the you never know territory.
9 out for O'Neal is 226.
Yeah, I think the only thing that really O'Neal's going to be guarding against is a 7-10 at this moment. Oh, look, FloBowling's caught Kyle Sherman.
He's working. Any kind of hope must strike here. Man, sails wide. .215 the final for Sterner. Nine and a wiggle will get the job done. Bill O'Neal just won the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite, pockets $25,000.
PBA ATX Invite champion. Please give it up one more time for Jason Sterner.
Bill O'Neal, solid Bill O'Neal performance.
Yeah, Bill bowled great the whole time. Definitely the class of the field today, that's for sure.
$25,000. And let's send it down to $2 Phil Brilo with our champion.
Thanks, MJ and Stu. Appreciate everything today. Bill O'Neal, you made your ball rep look like a god today. I'll tell you what. Didn't have to change a darn thing all day, did you? He had you all set, or was it all you?
Well, I think I should get some credit.
Well, obviously.
I mean, I picked the ball up off the rack. But no, Sean Ryan's ball rep for Ebonite International, he's unbelievable. He's been great all year. He's a huge part of the reason why I'm bowling this event, why I had such a good year. I can't thank him enough. I can't thank everybody at Ebonite, everybody at KR, everybody at Vice for everything they do for me, and it's been a great year.
Yeah, it was interesting. At the 8 guys that were in the ATX Invite field, Sterner was number 1 in match play percentage this year on the PBA Tour. You were number 2 in match play percentage out of the 8 players. What is the key to you being so successful in match play?
I just think that my versatility keeps me in a lot of events. I don't fall behind a lot in a lot of events because I'm able to play the lanes a lot of different ways. I've been out here a while, so I understand how to play the lanes for me. I wasn't doing that for a couple of years. I was trying to play the lanes like everybody else. And so I got back to doing what I do, and it's been working out really well.
We got a piece of hardware for you here. Lucas Wiseman, the senior editor at Flow Sports, coming in to give you that gorgeous trophy.
Congratulations, Bill. Bill, on behalf of all of us at Flow Sports, congratulations on your win and continuing your great season.
Thank you. Now, the PBA season isn't done yet. U.S. Open around the corner. What do you do to get ready for that?
Well, how I get ready for it is I leave tonight to go back home for a couple hours, then I fly to Thailand. And then I go to Korea, and then I come home for a little bit, and then I bowl the U.S. Open. So we got a lot of stuff going on the next month.
That's the next thing you're going to see here on FloBowling. U.S. Open coverage begins at the end of October. Here's your champion of the FloBowling PBA ATX Invite, Bill O'Neal.